Alright, hello again everyone. Welcome back. This is Patrick, and today I'm going to try something different, which is basically to learn Japanese using Japanese Pokemon card. Because I'm from Indonesia, and when I first started learning English is from games, basically card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon card, um, and also what else did I play? Digimon back, yeah, back then actually there's some Digimon card as well. It's not that popular back then, not the newer 2020 Digimon card game, but the old school one. But yeah, I started learning English by reading all these cards, playing games like um Harvest Moon, Final Fantasy, and so on and so forth in PS1 as well. So yeah, I believe that all this card game, all these video games is actually useful not just to play, but also to learn something. And because I'm currently learning Japanese, I just started a few months ago, so I'm still pretty new. Um, I was thinking, why not use the same method of me learning English to actually learn Japanese? And so, yeah, to start with, one of the card that I pulled from my 151 Scarlet and Violet booster pack, one of them is the Electabuzz. And this will be the first card that I will try and read. I haven't learned a lot of the kanji, so I might skip most of the kanji except the one that have the hiragana pronunciation that I might actually have a look and talk about it. But mostly like this over here, all the kanji, I got no idea how to read it, so I don't want to try to be smart and just use Google Translate or anything. I just want to see if I can read based on what I've learned so far. Well, anyway, let's start with the top left. In the English version of the card, usually we have basic, but over here we have this hiragana word, which basically is this. Yep. So this is the hiragana. It's read ta and ne. So tane in Japanese, basically, if I'm not mistaken, it means something alongside like seed. So basically, like the first step of, or the first stage of an evolution. So in Digimon, there's a Digimon that's called Tanemon. It's basically a seed of a flower, and yeah, that's the meaning of Tane, like a literal meaning. So Tane means seed, and that's what we have right over here. The name itself, usually English word that is translated to Japanese, most of them they use katakana. So if you don't know the difference, basically katakana and hiragana, the difference is katakana is almost like a block letters. So all the letters is a bit more straight line compared to all these hiragana, where you see there's a lot of like curve, a lot of how do I explain, like a circle around, circling around, and so on and so forth, those kind of things. Those are usually hiragana. The one that looks a bit more rigid, a bit more like a block letters, that's usually katakana. So we've covered the first part, which is tane, which means seed. In English we call it basic. And then the name itself, we know this Pokemon as Electabuzz, but here this straight line basically just to lengthen the pronunciation of the previous alphabet, and this by itself basically read A, Re, Bu. So if you read it just like that with a lengthened final alphabet, so it read Ere, Bu, Bu. So Erebu. That's the Japanese name of Electabuzz. So Tane, Erebu, and then I'm going to skip this part because that's mostly kanji and I haven't learned too much of kanji. But over here we have kanji with hiragana pronunciation. It might not be that clear in the video, but if you see the actual card, you will see this small hiragana on top of the kanji. Can't remember the Japanese term for it. I think it's furigana, which basically means the how you pronounce a certain kanji, because one kanji can have multiple pronunciations. So usually they write the furigana somewhere next to or on top of the kanji so that you know how to actually read that kanji. So first we got the name. We got the name of the move, which is oh, sorry, that's not the way it's supposed to be. This, I'm going to write it again, sorry. So we got this, we got this, and this, and the second word is actually this, this, and this. So for each letter, the first one, I have to make it a bit more sharp H, because if you go like this instead of this is actually a hiragana that's read shi, but if you do a sharp H like this is actually a re. So yeah, it's quite hard in a written Japanese compared to when you type it. And yeah, so this is A, this is Re, this is Ki. Ere Ki usually translate to electric in English. And then here we got Ko, and Bo. So rough translation to English, it will translate to electric. And combo, it sounds like the English word combo, so it's translated to electric combo. And then the explanation, I'm going to write it down. And for Japanese, usually they use this as the bracket instead of, like in English, usually we use a quotation mark to specify the name of something, but in Japanese they use this as their quotation mark or bracket, because this quotation mark usually change the pronunciation of the consonant of Japanese word. For example, like this, the bo in combo, as you can see, the bo actually without the quotation mark, it is read ho. But if you have the quotation mark, it will become bo. So ha, hi, hu, he, ho, with all the quotation mark, it will be read as b. So ba, bi, bu, be, bo. Now, back to this, we got really read this one. So it's all right. So we've covered the electric combo. Now the effect. Sorry that my Japanese writing is not that good. For better or clearer writing, you can find the picture online. But this, I'm going to write the furigana of the kanji as well. So this, if I'm not mistaken, is jibun. Yeah, jibun. And then dameji, 40 dameji. So it's tsui. Okay, so first I'm going to explain part by part. Jibun basically means oneself, so usually it means yourself when in Pokemon card. If you see this kanji, and if you see the furigana on top is this. Why I write it there? So this, the N in Japanese is almost similar to the actual N in English. So if you see something like this, or a bit clearer on the picture right over there, it's almost like the English N. So this means oneself. So it usually means yourself in Pokemon card game. No is possession participle, if I'm not like possession connector. So something no item. So this item belongs to the subject that was written before the no. So jibun no benchi. Benchi means bench. So it's almost like the English translation. So benchi. And this is actually katakana because it's English translation into Japanese word. So benchi translated to bench. So jibun no benchi, your bench. And then we have ni, this one word right here. This is ni. This usually indicates a location. So at your bench, that's the rough translation that I can think of in English. I might not be 100% accurate, but yeah. So jibun no benchi ni. So this is called ni. Basically, it's at. Buba. Interestingly, buba actually means mark in this case, because the Japanese name of mark is actually buba. So at your bench, that's actually how you read Japanese. Jibun no benchi ni buba ga iru nara. So ga, usually ga is almost similar as wa, but ga basically you emphasize the object before the particle. So ga and wa is actually a connection particle as well, but ga is actually more emphasized on the object before the particle, not the verb after. So wa emphasize more on the verb. So if this is a verb, Wa explains more on the verb. Ga explains or emphasize more on the object before that. So 自分のベンチにブーバがいるなら、いる is present. So it's いる。いる。present. Nara is if. The rough translation into English is if. So 自分のベンチに at your bench ブーバがいるなら if Makmar is present. So if you translate it into actual English grammar, if Makmar is present in your bench or at your bench, 40, so 40 is 40. 40. 40 damage. So damage is in Japanese is actually damage. Da me, and then a lengthened vowels, lengthened pronunciation. So da me ji. Ji. Damage. 40ダメージ追加。追加 basically you add. The rough translation into English is you add 40 damage. So this 追加。追加 it means to add. So 自分のベンチにブーバーがいるなら40ダメージ追加。If at your bench a Makmar is present at 40 damage. So that's basically how you read the first attack. エレキコンボ。自分のベンチにブーバーがいるなら40ダメージ追加。Now the second part. Sorry, I'm so unorganized with this paper. For future video, I'll try to be more organized on where I write things. But, well, the second part. Naguru. Naguru. Which basically to hit. If I'm not mistaken, in English they call it like light punch, but the actual word naguru is actually to hit someone. So electric combo and hit, that's basically what it means. Now, I'm going to skip this part because they are mostly kanji, and this one is this part. If you can see, in English we call it retreat. It's actually nigeru. Nigeru. Alright? You can see nigeru. Basically means to run or run away. Mostly run away, because run they have another word, but nigeru usually means run away. And in English, we use retreat instead of run away. And finally, this part, the long part, usually it's just a bit of a backstory or an explanation of the Pokemon. Over here, I'm going to write it one by one. It's quite a long sentence. First, we got, can't really read it. I'm going to hold it closer to my eye. Okay. Is that correct? I think so. Yep, seems to be correct. No, that's not correct. So this, I think it's this. I might be wrong. I need to double check the actual writing after this. I might be wrong. It might not be the way you write it, but I'm going to write the furigana on top so that I can actually read it. Wow, this one is actually quite long. I'm going to write a better one underneath, so please bear with me for now. All right. It might not look pretty, but I'm going to talk about it one by one. First, we got arashi ga. Like I said, ga is a particle that will explain or emphasize the object before that. So arashi is like a storm. So arashi ga ku, if you can see, this is actually the same as this over here, but over here we got the quotation mark, make it a gu, but just like that it means ku. It read ku, kuruto. So arashi, this arashi, that's how you read. Arashi ga kuruto, when storm come. Kuru is to come, to arrive. When storm come. Takai, takai. If you remember from tane, the basic tane here is the same. So how to read this kanji is ta ka, ta ka. This is the same as ga, but the ga have the quotation mark. So ka with quotation mark, it become ga. Takai, tall or high. Arashi ga kuru to takai ki, this is ki, or the kanji is this. This is ki. It means tree. So takai ki no, takai ki. So tall tree. No is possession particle, like I said before. Something no is, so basically this part of the tall tree. Mawari. This is mawari. Mawari. It basically means around. So when storm arashi ga kuru, kuru is arrive, when storm arrive or when storm come, tall tree around. So basically around tall tree. Ni is location particle, ni. This is how you write it, ni. Location or at around tall tree. Atsumari. Atsumari basically means together, gather. This is the kanji. I'll write it one more time. I might be wrong. It's too small for me to actually read the actual writing of the kanji, but that's most likely it. But that's the furigana. Atsumari. Atsumari. This means together. So when storm come, gather around tall tree. Also, the unique thing about Japanese is they most of the time they don't write the subject of the sentence. So when you say I want to eat sushi, sushi o tabetai, you don't say watashi wa sushi o tabetai in spoken Japanese. Watashi is me, watashi wa, to emphasize what is the activity that I want to say. Sushi o tabetai. But usually when you speak with someone, you just say sushi o tabetai, because you just assume that the subject is the person that's talking, or the person that say the sentence. Same with this, they don't say Pokemon wa, no. They just skip this Pokemon part, like this Pokemon as the subject. They skip it. They just talk about what happened and what they will do. They don't say this Pokemon. They don't state the subject. So when storm come, gather around tall tree. Basically, the first sentence say, when storm come, this Pokemon will gather around tall tree. That's the first sentence. The second, start with this. This is kaminari, which basically means lightning. This one kanji, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how you write it. So that's kaminari. It means lightning. And then we got ochiru no. Ochiru no. How to explain ochiru no? It's canary. Just give me 1 second. Ochiru no. Ochiru no is to Ochiru is to drop down. So basically, this next part, Ochiru no. This is O. This kanji is read O. This is chi. So Ochiru no. So basically, the drop of a lightning. So when lightning strike, I think the English translation will be when lightning strikes. Ochiru kaminari ochiru no o. Yeah, sometimes in Japanese it's quite hard to actually translate it word by word, but yeah, I think the rough translation of this first phrase, kaminari ochiru no o, the rough translation is lightning drop down when lightning fall. Yeah, I think I will say that's the best explanation that I can come up with. And then jitto. This alphabet by itself, it usually means tsu. It is usually read as tsu. But if you see the tsu is smaller than, I'm going to write it a bit properly. If you see the tsu is smaller than the other hiragana, it's actually to lengthen the consonant, not the vowel, but the consonant of the second or the alphabet after. So this is by itself, it's read as G, and this is to, but because there's a small tsu, there's an extra to right here, so you read it as jitto. Jitto is to be still, stay still. And then next is machi tsuzu. Keru. The hiragana or the furigana of this kanji is this. It is read as ma chi. This kanji is tsuzu. So tsu and zu. This is ke, this is ru. Again, sorry if my writing is so messy. That's just how I usually work, but I'm going to try to make it a bit better next time. But machi tsuzu keru. Machi by itself basically means to wait. So machi, it's to wait. Tsuzukeru, keep going. To keep going or keep doing your action. So the rough translation will be kaminari ochiru no o. Kaminari ochiru no o basically means the lightning to fall. Jitto machi tsuzukeru. So keep going, waiting, and stay still for the lightning to strike. So the whole sentence, Arashi ga kuru to takai ki mawari ni atsumari. I'm going to show you the text. I think it's more clear. So, Arashi ga kuru to takai ki no mawari ni atsumari. When storm come, tall tree around gather. So gather around tall tree when storm come. And then the next line will be Kaminari ga ochiru no o jitto machi tsuzukeru. So keep going, waiting and stay still for the lightning to strike. So this Pokemon, when there's a storm, this Pokemon will stand and gather around tall tree, keep waiting and staying still for lightning to strike. That's basically the explanation of the last part of this Pokemon card. Sorry that this part takes so long, because yeah, this is the first time I'm trying to translate Japanese Pokemon card into English. But I'm going to recap. First, we got Tane, which basically means seed. And then we got Erebu. Erebu. It is the Japanese name of Electabuzz. And then Ereki, which basically means electric. Konbo. Konbo. Ereki Konbo. Electric combo. And then the explanation, Jibun no benchi ni. At your bench. Buba ga iru nara. If Magmar is present, so if Magmar is present at your bench, 40 damage tsuika, add 40 damage. And then the second attack is Naguru, to hit, or in English we call it light punch. And then over here, the small part right over here, we got Nigeru. Nigeru is to run away. And then the explanation of the card is Arashi ga kuru to takai ki no mawari ni atsumari. When storm comes, this Pokemon will gather around tall tree, takai ki no. Takai ki no mawari. Mawari is around. Takai ki is tall tree. So around tall tree, this Pokemon will gather. And then the second line is Kaminari ga ochiru no o jitto machi tsuzukeru. This Pokemon will gather around tall tree when storm comes. Keep waiting. Tsuzukeru is to keep going, doing something. Machi is to wait, so machi tsuzukeru is to keep waiting. Jitto is staying still. Keep going, staying still. Keep waiting, staying still, sorry. What are they waiting for? Kaminari ga ochiru no. So waiting for the lightning to strike or to come down. So that's basically the translation of this first Pokemon card that we have, which is Electabuzz. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know this is a long video. Some part when I'm writing all this long sentence, I speed it up just to make this video a bit quicker, a bit shorter, but still I know that this is a really long video. Hopefully you learn something. I'm going to improve how I do this video in the future, but hopefully you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next video. Cheers!